This is the fourth part of my Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. And this only really makes sense if you watch the first, second and third part. So you should watch those first. William Afton was very mad. He was mad that he was kicked out of the company. And he was very mad that Henry had a family. But William didn't. And most importantly, William Afton was very drunk. So he went over to the new restaurant. And he put boxes on the puppet's box so the puppet couldn't get out. Then he drove by Henry's daughter, Charlie, and he killed her. Then drove away. And the puppet went outside to save Charlie. But it was too late. And Charlie would possess the puppet. And I think that Charlie had to die after the rest of the kids because of the grave puzzle in Help Wanted 2. Because in the puzzle the puppet is very last. And Henry watched it happen. He watched his own daughter die. He was the one wearing the Freddy suit. But he couldn't go outside and save her. Because it was raining. And he would die. So he just had to watch. And all of the agony that he felt from that formed a being. And it was called Shadow Freddy. And Shadow Freddy admired William Afton. And he would go on to help William Afton whenever he needed it. And that's why we see him in a very similar looking minigame in FNAF 6. And the animatronics were angry about Charlie's death. So they killed the first adult that they saw. And it was the night god, Jeremy.
Was that the bite of 87?
And this was the final straw for the police. They were 100% sure that they knew who killed all the children. They thought it was Henry, because he was there for all the deaths. And William was fired so he couldn't do it. So they arrested Henry and he was proven guilty. We know that someone was proven guilty from the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 newspapers. And I think it's Henry just because it would make sense for the police to believe it was. And it would explain why we don't see him till Pizza Simulator. But now Afton couldn't kill kids to get Remnant. Or everyone would know that Henry didn't kill kids. So he would be free. And William would be taken away. But William needed Remnant so he could save his kids. So, one night, he broke into Freddy Fazbear's. And with Shadow Freddy's help, he destroyed all the animatronics to take their Remnant. First, Shadow Freddy led the animatronics to one specific room. Then William broke the animatronics, one by one. But there was a problem. The animatronics were the only things that kept the ghosts from escaping. So the ghosts left the animatronics, including Cassidy's ghost, and they chased William. Then William put on the old Spring Bonnie suit, but that wasn't a very smart decision, because it was raining, and the same person who he tried to save is the person who killed him. And all of the agony from William's death formed into a being, and it was called Shadow Bonnie. And unlike Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie hated William. And he went against him. But right before William left to go to Fazbear's, he told Micheal something. Knowing that he might not come back, William told Micheal about everything he's done. The murders, the animatronics, and circus babies. So after Micheal saw that his dad died, He went to Circus Babies to see his sister, and when he was there he saw a lot of things. His sister led him through the whole place. Every night he would have a task to do, and she would help him. But one night, he got trapped in a Springlock suit, and that suit was the Fredbear suit. I think that the suit has to be the Fredbear suit because there's only 2 Springlock suits. Spring Bonnie and Fredbear, and Spring Bonnie is busy killing William Afton. We also know that the suit has to be an important character because Scott Cawthon couldn't tell people who it was in the interview with Dorco.
So here's an interesting one, which I don't know if you're going to answer or not. So in night 4, when we're inside the suit, a lot of people wanted to know whose suit is that.
Whose suit is that? I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to answer that for you.
That's fine.
That's going to have to remain a topic of discussion.
Afton also has a bunch of other stuff relating to Fredbear in his bunker, like the cameras and the Fredbear plush.
He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who you gonna call? Psychic friend Fredbear.
So it would make sense for the suit to be there. And when you're trapped in the suit, Circus Baby gives a monologue and she sounds mad at Mike.
You're inside something that came from my old pizzeria. I don't think it was ever used. At least not the way it was meant to be used.
And it would make sense for her to be mad at Mike. He killed Cassidy, her brother, and she's reminded by it because of the suit being right there. And when William died, and Cassidy's ghost appeared, William didn't have to break the golden Freddy suit for that to happen. The ghost was just there, and he didn't have to break the suit because the suit was in sister location. I don't know how Cassidy's ghost got out of the suit though. And on the final night, Micheal's sister betrayed him, and all of the animatronics fused together into one being. And the thing wore his skin like a suit, then escaped, but Micheal's body was rotting, so the thing had to jump out.
You won't die. 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 You won't die.
But Michael lived, and from his adventure he learned about everything his father had done, and he was going to try and fix it. First he went to the old Freddy Fazbear locations, and he went to free all of the spirits there, and he failed. But he did learn how to free them while he was there, and Shadow Bonnie also tried helping Michael Afton, but he failed. Then years later, Michael learned about a new place that opened up, Fazbear Frights. Okay, that's it for the 4th part of the timeline. The next part will be the last part of the timeline. So subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can see that come out next week. Bye 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 bye.